And we should be live. I believe we are anyway. Live as can be. All right. There we are. Some last minute alterations to some lighting. And hopefully that all looks nice. Nice enough anyway. The lighting and green screen editing might be a semi-constant endeavor, but for now, should be good. And we are going to be good with more Final Fantasy. We made quite a fair bit of progress last time, and hopefully we shall make an even more fair bit of progress this time. Let's get everything properly set up and give people a minute to tune in. I have new light, which will hopefully brighten things up enough. Make a difference with the common issue of, well, green on my screen messes with the green screen fading out. So hopefully a secondary light I have will alleviate that, but we'll find out. For now, let us very brightly, apparently, launch Final Fantasy and make sure it captures properly. There we go. A few little issues that hopefully are mostly going to be resolved. Some just small alterations in the lighting. The green screen alterations will be a work in progress, I'm sure. Clearly, I tested my lighting setup in a few cases, not with, well, green. But so far, it looks nice. There doesn't appear to be any major issues. A little bit of flickering with the hair, but it's not overly much I can do about that, or I can play around with that later. Regardless, so we last left off in the town of, let me remember the town, Gaia. We have restored 2 out of 4 crystals, and I wasted all of my money on items because I forgot that having money is kind of nice. We have all of the magic that we can have except for level 9, which is available to buy, but not cost efficient right now. Because I did actually remember a bit more of what we have to do. And we actually, believe it or not, need money for what we have to do. Normally... Hello, welcome Sky and Roxy. Welcome back to the stream. Hopefully with better lighting and better green screen adjustments. Oh, I'm sure she's gonna have fun. Hopefully during this game and not during Castlevania. That would be preferable. But either or. So yes, we do have a goal in mind, technically. There's someone somewhere in this town that I need to either need to buy something from someone here, or actually I think they're in a desert. It's fine though, we have an airship so we can travel. I know one of the places we need to go is a desert. But if I recall there's a mysterious merchant in a desert near here. Yes. The magical vagueness of ye old RPGs. Maybe one random NPC in a random town points you here. I don't know. I don't remember how I found it. But the very clearly obvious item we need is a bottled fairy. So we're just gonna buy that. And then we're going to leave. Well, boiled fairy is probably not the most ideal means of cooking. Grilled is usually a better choice. So bottled is what I shall take in this circumstance. Now that we have that, we can return to this town, and someone here needs it to give us what we need for the next dungeon. I remember that much. Or we're just gonna open the bottle in town. I still think we need to find someone to talk about that. Vague memories. Very vague memories, but where... Should see a bigger map. Oh, there's a bigger map. Okay, I think... we need to go up to that house, or near it. Excuse me? Or maybe it was this lake, because this is a very conspicuously placed lake after all. Where's the fairies? You're the ones who rescued me from that bottle. I'm sorry about running away, but I was just so scared. I'll get you some oxy ale from the bottom of the spring to make up for it, okay? Whatever oxy ale is. But I know what it's for. I just don't remember what oxy ale is supposed to represent. Oxy ale. Just missing an R, and then it could be Roxy ale, huh? Air will flow out of that water for as long as you have it. Oh, well, there you go. Well, that will be important, because as one might surmise, just like the earth crystal was in an earthy place, the fire crystal was in a fiery place, the water crystal is going to be in a very watery place. I just need to remember where that watery place is. I don't remember how to make the map bigger. I'm assuming it's gotta be somewhere like... Oh, actually, I might need to go to this town. Too bad I can't land literally anywhere near it. We have very restrictive landing locales in the airship. Means we just need to take a short trek down there. You know, say hi to some friendly wyverns on the way. No one ever said how the most demanding part of being a hero was walking. I tell you, I would be sick of walking after 5 minutes of trying to be an adventurer. Ruthenia. I don't think I'm supposed to be here just yet. I cannot understand these people. Gamhi Do. Yes. We do not have the means to communicate with these individuals as yet. This is not the correct town. Well, we will simply find the correct town somewhere. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I remember it being somewhat in this area, or near it at any rate. So it shouldn't be that difficult to find. Probably not in the middle of the lake, fun as the canoe is. Oh, this is where the desert was. I wonder if there's another town somewhere on this section. Oh, there is another town. Another town that has no parking space. Imagine not designing your town to be compatible with airship landing. In this day and age. What a dreadful inconvenience. Oh. After the long quest to find parking, we can now approach the town proper, once again. I believe this is the correct town. I have other magic, so I'm not sure we need anything else. Level 7 spells, but I can learn one more level 7. Raises caster's attack and accuracy. Or blinds an enemy with darkness. I think we'll go with the former. And white magic, which I technically can learn, probably should, protects against instant death. That would be ideal. I do not have the money, so unfortunately that is not a purchase we can make. Yes, for those who weren't here, I thought I had all the money I needed, so I bought 99 of pretty much every useful item that I could buy. That is how I spent like 300,000 gil. It's a gravestone. I guess they're all gravestones. No references to Link or anyone special. I know there's someone here we must speak to. They're not going to be a random out in the middle of nowhere. Or are they? That Underhill fella from the caravan had something very weird for sale. Okay. Ooh. Oh, there's a dragon here. Amazing. Humans have been honored by the Dragon King. Yes, that is us. Well, it looks like you climb inside, but you can't. Really. Look at my legs, aren't they wonderful? I love having legs. Look, did you see that move I just did? I mean, that's an interesting thing to be proud of, I suppose. Out of me way, blast it. I've been able to catch me a single fish. How am I supposed to keep food on my plate and in my belly? Papa's been spreading some nonsense story about how he saw a shining thing fall out of the sky. Such interesting rumors and dialogue these people have, but I have business with one of you. Can't remember who. Oh. This would seem more accurate. You have Oxyale. You're the ones we've been waiting for. Please save the mermaids. Don't you just hate it when you're talking to someone and they just disappear off into the distance? Anywho, we'll just get in this barrel, because that is the most obvious of things to do in this circumstance. And now we are in the shrine, the sunken shrine, which is where we will find the water crystal. So that did not take long at all to find the next dungeon. Which means it's dungeon time. Which should also replenish our money, to be fair. But it also is going to replenish our random encounter quota. Good thing we get to kill more buff sharks, because what would we be without fighting sharks? I definitely don't remember exactly where to go, but I don't remember it being a particularly difficult dungeon. I don't remember any particularly tough enemies other than the boss, but even then, wouldn't exactly say the boss is tough per se. Mostly we just gotta find our way around. So, kind of amazing how the heroes just knew that if they got in that random barrel, they would end up here. Kind of amazing that a barrel ended up here. You know, the barrel just magically found its way exactly where it needed to go. Well, I suppose we are going to have to go up. It doesn't look like there's anywhere else to go but up. And thankfully, nothing seems particularly dangerous, at least thus far. Oh my lord. Well, not that I think they're dangerous, but I would not have hit the auto battle button if I would have known there were going to be literally 9 of them. Yeah, I think since I have so many items to spare, we're gonna auto battle with magic, because I can always replenish it as needed. Assuming my mage even gets a chance to use the magic. That did significantly less damage than I thought it was going to do. Oh. We have plenty of healing magic. That magic really is not... I mean, to be fair, it is fire magic, and these are water creatures in an underwater dungeon. So, perhaps using fire magic is not exactly the most ideal choice here. Perhaps ice magic. Definitely better. Not an insta-kill, but it works. It helps. The question is, why are there so many sharks? Entire population of sharks is here. But we are getting significantly more money and a few new items. Which is good, because then we don't have to buy those items. There's one mermaid. If the light of the sea is lost, we will turn into sea foam and vanish forever. Well, I guess that sucks. Then don't lose the light. Oh, my prayers have been answered. Oh, that's all you have to say? You're not gonna, like, flee your prison? Alrighty. One of our friends went to see the world above and hasn't returned. I wonder what she's doing now. I do hope she's alright. Could be that woman who was talking about having legs. You can breathe underwater? How? How? Magic. Literally magic. Save the sea. Restore light to the water crystal. Well, I'm working on it, lady. Are those the crystals the legends speak of? Just who are you? We are the protagonists. This is the uppermost level of the shrine. The Kraken, the Fiend of Water, nests on its lowest level. Well, that makes searching a lot easier, because now I know to go down. The Mirage Tower stands in the desert to the east of the continent, right? Well, I saw someone go into the tower with the most lovely chiming sound. Huh. The Mirage Tower is our 4th dungeon, I know that much. Nice diamond shield for our warrior. The Fiend of Water lives, the light of the sea grows ever darker. More money. Delicious, nutritious money. Well, that is definitely replenishing my money reserves. Hello, map. How do I get over to the right side? I want that last treasure. How do I get over there, actually? If this is the highest level, supposedly. Yeah, on the bright side, there's no encounters on this floor, so while I try to search for chests, we don't have to worry about the armada of sharks, the great shark mafia, attempting to stop us. Oh, the map looped around. I was not expecting that. The Rosetta Stone. I am now reminded how we speak to the people who were not speaking sense before. We need the power of the Rosetta Stone, which we now have. Which in turn means I don't think there's anything left of value on this floor. So we are going to go down and see if we can find Kraken. What they say? Let's get Kraken. I gotta use the map more. I realized that would make finding stairs a lot easier. We want to simply go north when possible. Right into a shark. And the shark is dead. Not sharks, but still various sea creatures that are no match for our ability to hit really hard with the sword. Alright, so now we are on level 3, which I believe we started on. There's only one staircase, which is over there. So that is where we will go. There's probably other chests on some of these floors, but honestly, I don't think we need much. We have... well, we're getting plenty of money, both from chests and killing things. I mean, we're already back up to 84,000, considering we entered this dungeon with like 17,000. This is still not the lowest floor. However, I believe we are going to have to go up those stairs to get down those stairs. So that is what we shall do. Just as soon as we kill some scorpions. Some sea scorpions. And there we go. Even further up. But there are stairs down. And it's very nice that all the sharks can work together with all the other sea life. All these various, usually aggressive sea inhabitants able to coexist purely for the purpose of attacking us. Oh. We seem to have lost a mage. I suppose I should fix that after this battle. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even notice they were dead, so hopefully they've not been dead long. They're fine now, they got better. So we will just cast a big heal on everyone. And then we're gonna go over here. We'll grab these chests since they're right here. Alright, and now... we're very close. I can feel it. I can feel it in me bones. Just as soon as we deal with all these monsters. Yeah. While I'm fighting through this dungeon, I'm trying to remember what I'm supposed to do next. Because I know there was some vague location I was supposed to go to before the next dungeon. It was only last year that I played this originally, so I think I can remember. I'm gonna retrace my steps mentally while we're retracing our swords all over the countless sharks. This is definitely the bottom floor. I'm going to put a wager that this room up there is the room we gotta get to. Which in turn means... gotta go this way. And then through the big room. Water elemental. That just looks like a water tornado, to be fair. But... what do I know? I'm not an expert on water elementals. And up through here, which in turn leads us to more sharks, as always. And we want to go out that door. The mage is out of magic if they're attacking with their staff, which is fine. I'm about to find out if I'm correct in my guesstimation that this is the altar of the water crystal. It is. So before we engage, let's make sure everyone is full. Then not do that. Let's go to items and use... Well, I didn't mean to use it on the character who doesn't even have magic. Actually, I think warrior... What class are they now? Knight. Yeah, I think technically knights can use white magic, but that'd be so utterly pointless. So I guess it wasn't really a pointless ether. Alright, that should be good enough. You humans do impress. I would have not thought to see you here. But do you really think you can defeat the Fiend of Water here in my own domain? Fools. These dark depths shall be your tomb. And that is Kraken. He's even got a cape, so he's a very fancy Kraken. I think he's probably going to use Ice Magic, so I use Null Frost. And as always, we will put all of our faith into the monk. That seems like the correct choice. It's been the correct choice so far. And I guess we'll increase everyone's defense while we're at it. And obviously buff the monk even more. Whoa, that was a lot of damage to our red mage. Another fun thing about the ancient Final Fantasy. Isn't it fun that you can't even see what buffs you have active? So you definitely have to remember. Thankfully, there's not that many buffs, so it's not the most impossible thing to remember. So, yeah, this game is definitely a lot easier than I remember it being. That was like 3 turns. That is how long like a boss fight in Dungeons and Dragons lasts. Well, we've restored the water crystal, which leaves 1 more crystal. And we're just gonna leave at that. Because we have succeeded. The first thing to do after being a Kraken to death with your fists is to take a nap. You know, I'm pretty sure where I need to go is near here. I think I must call on the power of the canoe one last time. Go into a waterfall. Or something. I know it's related to getting into the dungeon. Ochi. Where I have learned this information... Well, I learned it from playing the game previously. Where I learned it previously? A lot of aimless wandering, which I'm glad I remember because I would not like to do an endless amount of aimless wandering this time. The question is, how long is this waterfall dungeon? Well, are there stairs? There's a door, there's no stairs, so this shouldn't be a long dungeon by any stretch of the imagination. Just, you know, gotta kill the cave horses, the cave unicorns even, as any haunted cave should have. A lot of unicorns. A lot of evil unicorns in this cave. But that's fine. And goodbye, Mr. Clay Golem. Yeah. One sec to make sure OBS is being proper. Sometimes I swear it flashes, and I want to make sure that it's just nothing is wrong. It doesn't seem to be. Even my black mage can one-shot these birds with melee attacks. These are very low-level enemies for a cave that I presumably should only be doing right after the water dungeon. Oh, goodbye, unicorns. You could have avoided this by not engaging me, yet you did. Oh, that is a lot of things on this screen. So we're gonna have both casters just use magic. Hopefully they get to go relatively before everything else. Not because I feel threatened, but because I just want them to kill everything faster. That's the power of magic. Who is this? I have been waiting. Take this cube. Here, that flying fortress, please. Okay, are you a mummy? Or a robot? Oh, it's definitely a robot. I couldn't tell from the side view. Buzzword. Where's just Ribbon? Okay, so Ribbon is very nice. Now, why would someone want to wear a ribbon, you say? Especially since it apparently only is +1 defense and +1 weight. Well, while I don't see any obvious way to tell in this game, what I know from other Final Fantasies is that for some reason, the ribbon is an item which prevents any and all status effects. So, it's good. And we want that on our monk, who is a literal destruction machine. So he never has to worry about anything. You know, other than damage, but... You know, at least he's just gonna get damaged. He's not gonna get blinded, or poisoned, or... You know, drunk, or any other status effect. And now, rather than run back through the cave, the most useless spell of exit will take us right back to our canoe. Just gotta sail back down the river. And get back to the airship, which I think we have everything we need. No, because we definitely need to visit that town of people we couldn't understand. I don't remember what for, but there's a reason we needed the Rosetta Stone, and we couldn't just get into the dungeon. Now, what that reason was, I'm gonna assume it has to do with the one NPC, the one random NPC who mentioned a chime when they saw someone enter the tower. Such important clues in this game, discerned by random townsfolk number 274. Oh, random townsfolk number 274. I will take your advice, and I will look for this chime in the place that I know it is, because I've done it before. Literally the only reason why I know where it is. And then that'll take us to the... not the final dungeon, but the final crystal dungeon. And then there's one more dungeon after that, as I recall. Which means... we're probably going to finish Final Fantasy 1 tonight. I'm definitely not going to end it in the final dungeon, even if it hits the 2-hour mark, because that'd be kind of silly. So, we're definitely finishing Final Fantasy 1 tonight. Which means the next time we can do Final Fantasy 2. But for now, let us head to this town of people who speak weirdly. Ooh, did I need to bring this stone to someone else? Is there someone here that I need to bring the stone? That is, I might be missing a step in my memory banks. But knowing this game, it could be that we have just talked to one specific NPC, or even a cat. I don't know. To make this work. Well, maybe there's a dwarf that I'm supposed to go to? No. I definitely have to bring it to an NPC, but let me look at the towns list. It's none of the starting towns. It's not the town we're just in. We're done with this, with Barrel Town and Fairy Town. This is the only... I know it's in a town, so that's gotta be the only town that it can be. I know they're not in a random cave. And every other town, I'm pretty sure, is mostly accounted for. So we're gonna try that. Go to Melmond. And someone there can transfigure the stone into knowledge. Just as soon as we make people not be in pain from countless injuries and no rest. Excuse me, gentlemen, I really need to get back to my airship, thank you. We're almost there. Okay. A Melmond down this way. Oh, it's this town. Is this really the right town? Long ago, a prosperous civilization thrived in the Northland. Now it's fallen into ruin. I think it might be an airship, so they really do exist. Warriors are like, this couldn't have happened without ye. There's minimum invaders coming back. Sure, whatever you say. In a cave on the southern tip of this continent lives a man named Sada. He's a wise man who knows much. I think I've already spoken to him. Is there a building I haven't been to in this town? Yeah, everyone's so excited that we're the Warriors of Light. I know, it's very impressive. But I think that there's someone here I'm supposed to talk to. I found out the gravestones, but I was curious if there were any special gravestones. The earth crystal must be shining again. Long ago, Melmond was a beautiful town blessed by the richness of the earth. Oh, he jumped up. This is clearly correct. Just a moment, let me see that tablet. This is the Rosetta Stone. This makes it possible to decipher Lufenian. Now, why was that under the ocean, though? Yes, of course, that's what that was. That all makes sense. Here, allow me to express my gratitude by teaching you Lufenian. And thus... There, now you can speak Lufenian too. Using the power of Duolingo, we learned a language in 5 minutes. Not even. Now, we can appropriately go to these people after the long trek through the forest and get what we need to go into the final crystal dungeon. I was wondering when we'd encounter wolves again. The most invasive species in the world. In any reality. And the question is, now that we know the language, which one of the random and all identical looking NPCs will have what I need? We are quite literally 1 unit of movement away from town, and we're still beset by wolves. So many wolves. More wolves than there are us. Wolves. We are the Lufenians, the descendants of the race that once lived among the clouds, the Sky People. You use a vessel you call an airship. It was built by one of our ancestors, a man by the name of Sid. I knew they even referenced Sid in this game. So Sid... Well, we will eventually see as we play through Final Fantasy, but Sid is literally in every game. Just like, I think airships are in every game. And, you know, Final Fantasy uses a lot of the same things. Now, what role they play is not always the same, but it is interesting to see just how back, like, certain traditions go. Sid's in every game, and also related to airships in every game, I believe. Light bearers, then the legend is true. We have a legend that has been passed down through many generations. According to this legend, 400 years after the fall of the civilization in the sky, warriors bearing light will come forth to save our people. Well, we do have light. 400 years ago, we built a civilization of the highest order. Even beyond the skies we reached. However, that is not but history now. A flying castle floats on a blue sea of stars beyond the sky. The world is composed of 4 forces: fire, earth, water, and wind. Of these we showed greatest prowess with our power of wind. High in the sky we set a castle afloat in that azure sea of stars. Blah blah blah, I'll pass on memories next generation. Who has what I need? Could the mechanical beings our ancestors created still function? Oh, you know, on that note, Roxy, are you still here and audibly able to hear me? That brings up an interesting point that I would discuss that you would find relevant. She may not still be with us, but regardless. Oh, I did not mean to leave the town. I just wanted to go over there to those people. Why won't you move? You're gonna really make me go around. Castle that floats high above the clouds is the home of our ancestor, and the Marsh Tower is the gateway to that castle. We came to believe there was another entity controlling the Four Fiends. To ascertain its location, we sent out 5 warriors. Much time has passed since we heard from them. I hope no harm has befallen them. Well, it clearly didn't work. We placed our last hope in the 5 warriors we sent out. It's been said they fell victim to the curse of the fiends and were turned into bats. Oh. Oh, that's a detail I don't think I picked up on the first time I played this. Before you leave, Legendary Warriors, take this chime with you. It will grant you passage into the Mirage Tower. You obtain the chime. Okay, well, first, since she's not around, we play Final Fantasy 14 together. And I just wanted to note on that one person who talks about the mechanical beings. For those who have played Final Fantasy 14, this is the world where both the dragons and Omega and his ilk came from. Which are those mechanical beings. Which I thought was really cool when I learned that, having played this after Final Fantasy 14. Now, as for the bat thing, that is actually very relevant. Because we've seen bats in places. You know, bats that were trying to find the one behind the Four Fiends. And, well, now we know that they were adventurers turned into bats, trying to find the being behind the Four Fiends. And, I don't know if they're still there. But I must not have picked up on this the first time I played, but, where... I just want to take a quick stop here. Oh my lord. Some of the most basic ass enemies in the game. Assault me when I take literally 5 steps in here. Incredible. There sure are 5 bats in here, aren't there? You know, this first dungeon, unquote, where we fought some guy. Unquote. You know, just something to notice. But, you know, we won't worry about that right now. Right now we've got to go to the Mirage Tower. And it is in this Mirage Tower that we will restore the Crystal of Wind. Well, first we're going to use one of my endless cottages that I bought. Just because I want to make sure everyone is topped offed. That would be very much ideal. And now we will go in. And now, unicorns again, but also black knights. Who are really not that tough. They give good money though. Not that we really need money. I mean, we could buy the level 8 magic. I mean, I guess we will before we go to the final dungeon, but it's not really that necessary. So there's not stairs here, but if you see in the dead center, oh, upper dead center, there's weird tiles. Yeah. This civilization was too advanced for stairs, so they built whatever you call those, teleportation pads. And we are going to get up the tower that way. I know, as soon as we deal with these were-tigers that are haunting the ruins of this
ancient civilization. There's also one of those robots again. Hello. Master, we have waited so long. I mean, I don't think I'm your master, but if you're gonna confuse me for master, I'm not gonna tell you otherwise. So he seems a bit broken and unhelpful. I thought these were teleportation tiles. Are these not the teleportation tiles? I thought they were teleported. Oh, there are stairs. Wow, I have a weird memory. I thought there were teleportation tiles. No, there are stairs. Never mind, forget what I said. I must be blending this memory with some other game. Oh, also here's robots that shoot lasers. Oh, I guess I also conveyed that wrong. Technically, for that Final Fantasy 14 bit, technically, it would have been more accurate to say, not to say that Omega and Co. were from here, but rather they invaded here. The dragons are from here, which is Bahamut the Dragon King, as we saw. Hey, it's my shield. Well, now I am wielding my shield. Very nice. Although, I haven't played it, but from what I was told, in a different version of this game, one of the various different re-releases editions, you can fight Omega as a secret boss in this. And to be fair, he existed as a secret boss, both in one of the editions of this, and I think other games, before he was in Final Fantasy XIV. So that's the neat thing about Final Fantasy XIV, as it's basically endless fan service to other Final Fantasy games. So we don't technically have to go in that room, because the stairs are right there. I think technically I'm finding better gear in these chests, but also technically, like, you don't need them. We're doing pretty good without opening every single chest. I am going to just ignore them and go upwards towards the boss. So we will go straight through the stairs. Oh, that's not just any mummy, that's King Mummy. And how strong is the King Mummy? The King Mummy is not very strong at all. Well, goodbye, King Mummy. Ah. I killed the previous king, so this mummy became the new king, and now he's dead. A sad fate, but one that all kings must eventually meet. Alright, so this, I believe, is the top of the tower. Everyone is mostly fine on health. Can throw a few shitty heals on people. Because, I mean, they're shitty heals. I don't really need to worry about wasting them. That is a lot of worms and wyverns that are doing... I was gonna say they're not doing much damage, but then they started attacking my monk, who definitely takes more damage, because he's a monk. Monks don't wear armor. They believe in the power of their fists. That's about all they believe. But it's fine. Alright. Then... hello. Who are you? A blue dragon who ambushed us. And bites my monk for not even that much damage. Okay. Well, Blue Dragon, how do you like Thunder? If my Black Mage even gets to cast, it doesn't. Never mind. Use the Warp Cube Shell beyond the sky. It will take you to the Flying Fortress. Oh, this is why I confused my memory, thinking there weren't stairs and there were just teleporters. Because there is a teleporter. It's just right there. Well, now we're in the Sky Fortress. As if the name pop-up wasn't obvious enough for you all. And I think we're still just probably going to just go up, because I don't think we need anything else. I think technically there is one item here. I would assume it's in the Flying Fortress level. Like this part of the dungeon. It was like way early in the game when we were in the Dwarven Mountain. One dwarf talked about adamantite. I'm pretty sure this is it, which technically would hit a good sword, which is not at all necessary with how overpowered we are, but I mean, you know, I might as well just take a look around. Razor? Who uses a razor? Like, is it a shaving razor? Spirit Naga. Also, I suppose I should technically be somewhat attentive before I mash auto battle, because as sometimes happens in the Final Fantasy series, in this area there is an enemy which I believe will actually be a threat, and it's not the boss. Sometimes in Final Fantasy there's random encounters that are like really rare, but they're also ridiculously like the enemy is very powerful, and I know for a fact such an enemy exists here. Because there was an achievement for completing the bestiary, and I remember having to farm here a while, and B, because it was very ouch when I encountered him the first time. So those two factoids together means I definitely remember there being a bad enemy there. He might not be on this floor. I don't know if he could be on a different floor. I guess I think the dungeons do have separate spawn tables for the floors, though I'm not 100% sure on that one. I'm guessing nothing here is going to be adamantite. There are some better items though, which definitely could make a difference. Probably not a difference for the final boss, but definitely a difference if we encounter that powerful enemy. Which we might not, but we might. Either way, this dungeon is not long. It's just gonna take longer as I go through chests. So I could probably honestly use all of my consumables. Ah, yeah, it is just teleporters at this part. Okay, that earlier confusion was just me misremembering, as normal. There is a lot of doors here, and most of it is just useless money. I kind of don't want to go through every single one. Okay. That's all I needed to know. I just quickly wanted to check what floor the adamantite was on, because, like I said, we're very close to the end of this, and searching through every single room for however many floors this dungeon is. Well, let's just say I'd rather just know what floor it's on. And ironically, it's this one. So we'll get that, mostly for completion's sake. We did talk to the dwarf after all. He did tell us about the adamantite. It wouldn't feel right not getting it. We also got a cottage. And a mithril helm? Mithril's like really old and not good. Interesting that it would be in here. Maybe they just had it in for aesthetic purposes. And that's cosmetic armor. I mean, these could very well be storage chests, let's be honest. This was supposedly the city of that advanced race. It's not just here for adventurers to find loot in for no discernible reason, as people live here. And now, Black Clan, they live here. Now, I don't think they're using the chests for storage, or what's in the chests, but they're here. Alright. So only a few more of these rooms to check, and then we can just basically proceed up the stairs. I should have used magic. Okay, how about you use Pandara, and you use Pyra. There we go. A little faster of a solution to these random encounters. That's adamantite. Okay. Well, onward to the boss. Now, let's just deal with these manticores first. Some more black flans. Gotta deal with them first. A place where the power of magic really shines, because oozes are resistant to things that are not magical. Magical damages. Stairs, stairs, stairs. They're right there. There might be fancy things in these chests, but there aren't. Nothing that we need. What we need is at the top of the tower. This brings us to floor 4, which is not the last floor. Got a 1, 2 over, and 2 up. So 1. Dark Fighter. That's Dark Fighter. Not slavering ghoul or disgusting goblin like it actually looks like based on the pixels. No. Dark Soldier. Dead Medusas. And soon dead Rakshasas. Very dead. Very easy to deadify and teleport. Well, this is definitely the final floor. Suffice it to say. Have some more level ups. This, yep, goes on for a bit. Well, it looks like we're not encountering the enemy of difficulty. I almost want to just to show him, but I also don't really want to. So we're not going to do that. I don't even think, given how easy everything is, I'm going to go ahead and assume I don't need to use mana restoring items or other heals, and we're just gonna go Lich, Meredith the Kraken, you have defeated 3 fiends and reached my lofty perch. It is all the better May the image of Tiamat, the fiend of wind, be the last to burn in your eyes. Tiamat. A dragon with 6 heads. Maybe more that we can't see in the pixel art, but probably only 6. I don't know what they're gonna use. Null. I don't know. I'm probably just gonna attack. That seems like the good idea here. Oh no! 3 bites for 35 damage. About Protera, I guess. Don't really need to do that. But might as well. There's our monk doing work. It's funny how little health things have in this Final Fantasy to me. Like, I know it's the first one, but like, for reference, there's enemies in future Final Fantasies. Like, ooh, that did a lot of damage. Final Fantasy 7, for example, I know there's an enemy that has nearly 1,000,000 HP, if not 1,000,000. I need to heal someone. Ideally, everyone. We're gonna start with you. Oh, and then the boss will just single target the strongest person again. So how about the highest health person and most defensive person? Better way of putting it. Same general idea. But we will consistently buff our monk until Tiamat is dead, which should not take long. Punch, punch, punch. Wow, that is a lot of damage. And that is the end of the 4th fiend. That is the wind crystal restored. Which, of course, means all 4 crystals are restored. The darkness is ended, hooray! Question mark. But well, I know there's someone else controlling them. Controlling the fiends, responsible for the fiends. But I don't remember if the game really tells you that, other than that one, like, the line of dialogue about the 5 bats. So we're gonna do 2 things primarily here. The first is we're gonna buy the level 8 magic, because, I mean, why not? We have more than enough money at this point. The level 8 magic is up. Yeah. Now, yeah, I mean, I might as well learn all of it. Stop, warp, and kill. Warp and kill basically do the same thing. Instantly kills an enemy, banishes enemies to another dimension. Of course, that's all enemies. Technically, this is the same as death, which we also have, but it's a more successful version, one would assume. Our red mage can learn none of those, and as far as... Nope, our red mage just doesn't get 8th level magic. He's far too red to learn anything. That's fine. We're not even gonna use those spells, by the way. Like, there's nothing to use them on. It's for that really powerful enemy in the tower. I don't really think it's worth encountering him. Like, really powerful for this game still doesn't mean much. Just worth a noting, because I would probably not want to auto-battle it, but other than that, it's not anything notable. Not like a true secret boss or anything interesting. That sort. I know where I've got to go, but I would kind of like to see if the king has any further dialogue, since we technically did what he asked. Sir's thoughts are always with you. Oh, the dancing girl in town knows many odd bits of information. If you find yourself astray, try talking to her. She may know something that can put you back on course. I mean, that could help. If you wanted, you could. I mean, here in Cornelia. No, it's nothing. You make preparations for your journey. Restore light to the crystals. She was flirting with the Warriors of Light. All of them. At once. Okay, who's the dancing girl? Are you the dancing girl? Hi there, I'm a dancer. What's that? You want to dance with me? Hee hee. I don't know what else to tell you. How about we have that dance? What do you say? So, I suppose, for less persistent people, they might think the game is over and has no ending. Less persistent people who don't talk to NPCs unless absolutely necessary, or don't remember what NPCs say. But as has been mentioned by one of those random NPCs that I did in fact talk to, as well as by my memory. Oh, I got the adamantite, and guess who did not use it yet, and almost forewent to using it. Now I just gotta remember which dwarf. The Earth was back to who it was before. I think you Warriors of Light. No, I think it was him. Is this adamantite? Oats, I'll use this to make you the finest sword you ever wield. Three hammers is all it takes. That's how powerful dwarves are. Done. In all my years, I've never crafted a finer sword. Go on, take her. She's yours. And that gives us Excalibur. Oh! Right, I forgot it was called Excalibur. Excalibur's actually in many Final Fantasy games as well. So, yeah. That'll be nice-ish. I mean, again, as one might guess from everything else in this game so far, it's not as if this is going to be difficult. So it was a short and easy game, which definitely, makes me understand why a lot of people would choose to speedrun it. Normally RPGs and speedrunning seem a bit counterintuitive by nature of how long they are. But, you know, not in this case. How long and sometimes random, in fact. So, again, the Lufenian we talked to said they sent 5 warriors to find the one responsible for the 4 Archfiends. And that their 5 warriors supposedly were turned into bats. Now, oh, we can understand them for some reason. I thought they were just gonna go Ki-Hi. But, they did not. The power the 4 fiends absorbed from the crystals is being fed into the past by the Black Crystal. The one distorting the beautiful light of the crystals is the one we've been looking for all along. The true root of all evil lies just ahead. We are Sky People. Oh, that's why! Because they are Lufenians, so they weren't saying Ki-Hi as a bat. Or they were, but you know, I'm not going to try to explain that. We can understand them now. We came to the shrine in our attempt to locate the source of the world's ruin. Oh, hello! Who's back, Miss Roxy? Did you hear me talking about the Final Fantasy XIV thing earlier? That was 400 years ago. Okay, well, since you're here, since you play Final Fantasy XIV with me, I just thought you would find it fun to know that this game, this world, is where all of the dragons from Final Fantasy XIV are from. This is the world that Omega and his robots invaded. The light of the 4 we've been seeking all this time. The light will open the time portal. The portal will transport you 2,000 years into the past to the beginning of the time loop. I mean, you've also done the Final Fantasy raids, the Omega raids, so you will recognize the final boss. Shine the light of the 4 crystals on the black crystal in the center of the chamber. Doing so will open a time portal to the shrine as it existed 2,000 years ago. Oh my lord, can I talk to this last bat without spiders? Probably like level 1 spiders messing with me. Oh my lord. The curse of the fiends changed us into these forms and prevented us from speaking. The light of the crystals has enabled us to speak again. Oh well, time to go back in time. Focus the light of the 4 shining crystals, fire, earth, water, and wind on the black crystal. The flow of time surges and space begins to warp. Just one step forward and you will travel back 2,000 years in time. I don't think the dungeon's long, but we will find out. I think the longest dungeon was technically the water dungeon, but I could be wrong. The Chaos Shrine. Oh, there's lots of stairs. Don't know which one I'm supposed to go to. Purple worm. Spiders are almost as pervasive a species as wolves are. Wolves are obviously the most invasive species in this world. I would be surprised if we don't see wolves back here 2,000 years ago in this Shrine of Chaos. How do I get over there? How do I get anywhere? Okay. Oh no, fire! And more black pudding type creatures. Oh, that did not kill all of them. Oh. Here we are, stairs. Which leads us... I mean, I love what they did with the music in this game. Obviously, it wasn't nearly as epic back in the olden times, but it sounds like a lot nicer in this remaster. Dragon, Zombie, and Vampire Lord. Hey, it's Dracula. We don't even need to play Castlevania. Here he is. We're about to kill him. There, we just beat Castlevania. There. That's one game beaten already. I hope you don't poison me. Oh, they didn't poison me, but they did kill my Black Mage. Oh well. We'll just cure that. Sorry. Practically endless cures for death. In fact, let's also use some of these potions so we don't have to heal. Who are you? Oh, just a big eyeball. He died in a singular hit. I forgot about this guitar sound of the Final Fantasy theme. Just loot these. Oh no, I want to go down the stairs or the ladder. Ah yes, Dark Fighter, Dark Wizard. Look at those. Definitely looking like fighters and wizards and not goblin mode creatures. Alright, so this will take us to where I think I need to go, ish. Yeah, I think that we only have... Okay, I think that was definitely where we needed to go. I mean, that seemed pretty important as a place to go. So now we just need to keep going down, and we shouldn't be far off from the boss. Is that I don't quite remember how many floors there are, but I mean, it's literally the final dungeon, so... And given how short every other dungeon is, it can't be long. I'd say I might start running from the battles, but it's really not even that much slower to kill everything. Like... Well, to be fair, the stupid black slimes are a bit slower to kill, just because I don't one-shot them with the magic. But they're still going to die. And people are still leveling up, so we will most certainly not have a problem with the boss. Right, and now we just go straight left, which will take us further down, and down is where we need to go. I will sit both of my mages to use magic. Ah, no problem. Oh, don't fall asleep before you see the final boss. Oh, well, ice magic, surprisingly, or I should say unsurprisingly, doesn't do much against the white dragons that I probably should have used fire magic on, but whatever. I mean, I am much too busy to stop and use specifics. Ooh, that didn't do a lot of damage at all. I hope my black mage does more damage with the magic. Yeah, that's fine. Both of them together will do enough magic to get me through this. Chaos Shrine, Basement 1. Which... Okay. I want to see if it's actually faster to flee, but I don't think it is. Well, in that case it was. I don't know if with certainty we can escape easily from every battle. But we're gonna find out. That one we definitely escaped first, because somehow we had the preemptive strike. Okay. Well, yeah, that's fine. Like I said, we don't really need to level much further. Well, we don't need to level much further. Speedrunners doing this at level 27 by the time they reach the boss. And here I am at level not 27. Definitely close to 40, if not 40. Also, I think we need to refight the old bosses, which... It's Mr. Lick. Obviously, these are not the final bosses. These are the bosses we've already fought and killed. They're just, they're back. And more powerful. Oh, that's gonna kill the red mage. That's fine. That might not be fine. Definitely more powerful than I remember them being. Okay, so while we definitely are over-leveled, I definitely should not be doing auto battle on literal bosses. is probably the takeaway from that. To be fair, I did forget that they had actually more powerful magic. Flare is commonly a super powerful spell in Final Fantasy. Possibly one of the most powerful. I mean, hell, in Final Fantasy XIV, it's like really powerful as well. Like a massive AoE spell. Which, I mean, it was. But we are going to not just face tank that twice in a row this time. Instead, we are going to make sure everyone's actually at full health. And we're going to treat this like a boss. Because he's a boss. Like I said, since we are 2,000 years in the past, technically, it would make sense that these guys are more powerful. Because this is before they were sent to deal with the crystals by the true villain, which we will get into once we get to the true villain. I haste the monk. And then buff the monk. Well, he's not using flare this time, which is definitely very helpful. And then my monk is punching a lot harder. A lot harder. There he goes. Okay, so that's 1 of 4 of them again before we get to the final boss, which honestly shouldn't be hard. We can even see the next one literally right there. We just have to go around. Which, if we run from everything, that won't take long. So we can definitely... And we're running from the dragons, and the dragons are running from us, except that one. He didn't run from us, he breathed fire. Maybe he was trying to run, but he got scared, and that's why he breathed fire. We won't know, because we're still running. Very huge damage. Oh, damn it. We're almost at the final boss. We've just got a few floors left in refighting the old bosses. Just better, because we're back in time. So, this is the fire boss. Oh yeah, it was last stream we upgraded our classes by bringing a rat's tail to the Dragon King, because apparently a rat's tail is, you know, a mark of courage, so he basically made our classes better. And now we are in the final dungeon, which I forgot, technically there's no direction to come here. There was an NPC, a random NPC basically, who mentioned they sent out 5 warriors to find out who is responsible for the 4 fiends, the ones who stopped the crystals, and that those 5 warriors turned into bats. And from the very beginning of the game, the very first dungeon we go to, there were 5 bats, and that was like the hint if that's where you're supposed to go back to. Remember that very first guy we killed at the very beginning of the game? Well, we're in that dungeon, but 2,000 years in the past. So here are the Archfiends, but actually powerful. Well, I put powerful in quotation marks, but let's see how true that remains. Our monk is still hitting things very hard, that's good to see. That is true. Flare is a very powerful magic. Pyraga, not so much. Oh yeah, temper that monk. The most powerful man in the world. It's just a man with very angry fists. I'm gonna use some ethers, I think. Right, the next will be the water boss, which I believe is probably just in that center room. Maybe? Oh, these are literally enemies from the water dungeon. I forgot to run away. That's fine. They are dead. Very easily. I need to... go... down here. And then we're just gonna run away from the sharks who are swimming in the air. And swim away from the eyes. Sharks and eyes. The two most common of sea creatures, as we know. And green mutated Kermit the Frogs. My answer would be that they're just trying to seek revenge. The real answer is because each of these bottom 4 floors of the final dungeon are basically replicating the 4 dungeons we were at least the enemies. Because these are all enemies that were in the water dungeon. It's more powerful than I remember them. Oh my lord, can you guys run? Means we have this floor, another floor, and then it should be the final floor of the final boss. And we're almost done with this floor. It's gonna chug some potions. Skyrim style. And, wait, is this where I'm supposed to go? No, I passed the door I was supposed to go to. For shame. With any luck, we will finish both this and Castlevania tonight, but Castlevania is a lot harder than I was expecting it to be, so we'll see if we can do that with 2 hours again. Oh my lord, eyes and sharks, please stop. There he is, Mr. Kraken again with his fancy cape for some reason. Well, that was very rude. And short of him using anything as fancy as his dapper clothing, we shall mostly just have everyone attack. Although I do think I need my my red mage to heal. Yep, that's fine though. I mean, my monk's kind of unstoppable. Oops, I didn't mean to cast that again, but that's fine, because he's dead. Well, it is a tradition for the Black Mage to be dead, so just solve death with some potions real fast. And move on with our life to the equivalent of the Wind dungeon, which means... Well, we're not going over there, because I'm pretty sure that's just a chest. And we're already overpowered, so we're just gonna go to the end of the dungeon. After we run from Dracula and his minions. Sorry, Dracula, but we will fight you in the next game. I mean, it says Vampire Lord. It might as well be Dracula. He is the Lord of Vampires. And here we have Tiamat. A dragon with far too many heads. But not a Hydra. I don't know what protect to use, so we'll just use physical protection for now. Ah, delicious poison gas. We will use Chiraga, which will hopefully come out before... Yeah, Black Mage is alive this time. Thunderbolt used a bit more damage than I would have liked it to do. Monk is going to punch. And that is all one needs to do is punch. Punch your way to victory. That is still gonna hurt a bit more than I want it to. Well, I technically have it on auto battle again, but we, once the mage died, I just put it on auto, because I figured the monk could take care of things, and he did. This is it. Like I said, Roxy, if you're still here and awake, we are about to see the final boss, which you may at least vaguely recognize from one of the Final Fantasy raids. Let me use ethers, I suppose. I bet I'm gonna have to run away from one more thing. Yep. Oh, it's just, you know, the eye. And now he's gone forever. He gave 1 HP and 1 experience. So, this was the guy that we killed literally at the beginning of the game. You remember me? I was once the most renowned knight of Cornelia. But that's not what he's going to look like in just a second. 2,000 years from now, you killed me. I am Garland. Oh, you did defeat me then, but the 4 great forces saved me by sending me back through time. Once here, I send the 4 fiends into the future, where they shall once again use the 4 great forces to send me into the past. In 2,000 years, I will remember none of this. But I will be reborn again here, so even as you die again and again, I shall return. Born again into this endless cycle that I have created. It is chaos. He does look slightly different from the Final Fantasy XIV version, to be fair, but... Chaos himself, the actual final boss of this game. Well, we will see how easy this is or isn't. I am going to use all of my defensive magics that I can. Or, you know, that'll really hurt a lot on someone. We will use some more potions. That should do less damage because of... Oh wow, that did more damage than I thought it was going to do. Well, I got very unlucky with the magic he chose to use, unfortunately. I mean, to be fair, if he opened with melee, then I'd already have defenses up instead of him opening up with what he did open up with. So we'll just try that again. Come on, first we gotta run from Dracula and his pet dragon again. Or we can kill them. Yeah, everyone is basically where we need them to be. All right. So, we will attack, we will... I'm gonna cast Invisora, which should increase our invasion a bit. And then obviously I will still haste my monk. A nice easy melee of 336 damage. Far superior to what I've been experiencing. Okay. Now we will do Null Shock. He's going to use a fire spell, which less ideal, but not the worst. I also would highlight that this is technically harder than it could be because of my party composition. If I had a white mage, I could have AoE healing instead of what I have, which is not that. And we got some decent healing on everyone. Oh, that's funny, and also slightly annoying. The thing that is increasing party evasion, I think, is making it harder to actually buff my monk, which will hopefully also mean he's less likely to take damage, but still. At least it feels that way, because I don't know how a buff could otherwise miss. But he can punch very, very hard, because he is getting the attack damage buff, at the very least. That's still gonna hit very hard. Oh, my warrior is now the healer. Using medium tier potions that apparently was not enough for Flare, which did a lot of damage. This Flare sucks. I'm pretty sure dying removes all the debuffs, unfortunately. Or all the buffs. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it does. If only I had more healing. Well, clearly this is going just fine. Well, less likely for this to work out on this attempt. Again, I do kind of wish I had a white mage for the AoE healing, because that would make that substantially more tenable to deal with. But to be fair, there's people who are speedrunning this game at level 27. Granted, they have a probably different party composition than I do, but we're not really that out of shape for the final battle. I just definitely underestimated how valuable the white mage would be. I just wanted to experience every class, so that's why I have the red mage instead of the white mage. I'm glad I took the monk, though. I did not have a monk the last time I did this. I would just like them better if they were alive. I think I'm going to have my warrior do healing where possible. Oh, he used haste on himself. That's fine. I don't care if he does melee attacks. I just don't want him to hit everyone with, no, the opposite of melee attacks. I think my physical damage buffs are hitting the monk. It's specifically the reduces damage by half that's not hitting him for some reason. I wonder if that spell is coded in a weird way that makes it miss on invisible targets. That would be interesting. Oh, he really punched my warrior there, which, you know, that's fine. Not what I was expecting at all, but it's fine. We'll just bring him back and it'll be fine again, clearly. Or not. Not's also fine. Well, my monk is getting ever more powerful at punching. I know he's going to do something bad soon. Like, kill my monk, but, you know. Okay, so if you use... You know, that invisibility is not really helping me as much as I was hoping it would. I think I'm not going to use that this next time. Because it's supposed to increase evasion, but I evaded quite literally nothing. So we will not do that. Instead, we will use the physical defense buff, as well as the defense magic buffs, and hopefully that will be better. But we will see. So we want Proterra, which will be a nice physical buff on everyone. Blaze hits for more health than my Black Mage has, which is definitely unfortunate. Well, okay. I might need to fight like a thing or two to level up my mage, just like a level, so he has slightly more health. If they survive, that would be better, but also one little problem with at least this older Final Fantasy, I don't know if this really applies to 2 or 3, because I haven't played those, or 4 for that matter, or 5. I don't remember really being a problem in 6, but with some of these older ones at least, the problem of the enemy getting to go first with such powerful moves, and then first again the very following turn, is very prevalent here, and definitely not appreciated. Thankfully, everything here gives a pretty large amount of experience, so getting the mage leveled up a bit for that little extra health shouldn't be too bad. We definitely almost have the boss down. Just a little bit of buffer for the RNG on at least the Black Mage would be definitely ideal. And since it auto-saves between floors, I think I'm gonna just go up and down the stairs once I get the level up that I want. Two people level up, but neither were my mage. Almost. And that didn't increase HP. I don't know if that increased HP by enough. It only increased by 3. Honestly, one more set of levels would probably be a bit safer. Again, at the rate we both encounter and finish battles, not too daunting of an endeavor. Still, definitely surprising that this boss gave me as much trouble as it did so far. Definitely more than I remember. I mean, we're all like level 43, 43, 43, 42. Not bad. A bit of slowness. Nothing we can't deal with. It's still annoying for sure, but we're close to another set of level ups, which should hopefully make a bit more of a difference. Yeah, definitely, at least on this playthrough compared to my first one. A little bit lower level than I was when I first beat this, combined with not having a white mage. A white mage would be very ideal. Technically my black mage leveled up, but my red mage, or rather my monk, was 300 experience from leveling up, so we're just gonna get that real fast. Okay, and from here we will use potions. Make sure everyone is at full health again. And we are going to give this yet another go. Only since we have the preemptive strike will we kill them. I think that would technically be faster. Alright. So, will that extra HP and a few stat points make the difference? Possibly. One of the times my black mage died, it was only by a handful of HP. So, keeping them alive a bit longer would definitely be easier this way. Hopefully easy enough. And while we definitely are in a better spot, see, the problem is after an attack like that, I don't know what he's going to do next. So he could do something that very much sucks, obviously, or he could do a simple melee attack on my main character, on my warrior, which would definitely be more ideal. You know, my monk must be wearing something, because that missed him again. And we don't even have the Invisor on. Which means I'm definitely putting it on now, because I might as well have the chance of dodging. But I don't know what my monk has on that's making him not be hit by protect spells. That is very odd. I'm gonna have to take a look at Zagir if I fail this attempt. And I'm just gonna have my warrior on healing duty, I suppose. I still need to protect my black mage, though. That is for damn sure. That will hit for not too much. Ish. Not too much ish. Definitely too much, but not too much ish. So, do I have another full healing potion? I do not. So, we are gonna heal him. Alright, that was a free turn for us since he just casted slow and it missed. Which allows me to give a pretty decent heal on our monk. Another buff, so they're punching very good now. We will use a high potion on our red mage, who will in turn heal the monk again, who in turn will be buffed again. So this is a hard-hitting move, so we'll see. Oh, a bit too hard-hitting for my red mage. So, right now, the only move I see is to just heal my monk, if at all possible, while they attack. For a lot of damage, mind you. We're putting everything on this monk to win this fight. They will survive that, but no one else will. Oh, everyone else did. I wasn't expecting that. As he punches for another 20, like near 2,400 damage. Yeah, we're just gonna... Well, that's not gonna be good. But somehow, my black mage is one of the last people standing. Some fucking how. And still standing, by the way. Don't ask me how, because I cannot give you an answer. They're not standing now, though. The monk, however, is. Ah, well, they got meleeed, which was the one weakness we had here. Okay, I need to see what my monk has that is preventing... I don't know. Is it ribbon? That would be kind of silly if ribbon sucked in this version of the game. I mean, it's good because it prevents status effects, but... it seems to also be preventing... the elemental resistance. At least it feels that way. But I'm not entirely sure if that's the case. Okay. I guess we'll try it again, and if needed, level up more. Though I can't really see why we would need to level up more, but you never know. I mean... presumably we were a lot closer that time. I definitely need to make sure everyone has the max magic they can have. And we shall try this again. Hopefully with some more success this time. Boy howdy, I really wish I had a white mage though. Because healing without an AoE heal is truly awful. It would be less awful if I was more leveled up, but we're already here. I don't want to level up any more than necessary. Okay, so I guess Ideally, we will open up with some magic protection, because that would seem pertinent, given he uses magic more often, and it also hurts. I see that? That's ow. That's very ow. Fortunately, we have really nothing to do about that. So, we will use an X potion on him. Kiraga on the Black Mage. Or not a Kiraga on the Black Mage. See, the only logical thing to do would be to try and raise the Black Mage, but we're at a point where that's entirely contingent on what the boss does, which is probably not anything nice. Well, I don't really need the warrior. If, and only if, I can survive everything else, which will not happen if he melees the Black Mage. Well, or if he does that to the... Yeah, so this is definitely not gonna go down well, either. Oh, well that's nice, that he just healed himself for 9,999. Well, I can definitely hope that he keeps doing moves that don't mean anything, and also that I keep going before him. So this will also be a failed attempt, but... There's not a lot of options I have against some of these spells if he uses them A first and B back to back, short of spending way too much time leveling up. If the RNG is a bit nicer, he wouldn't be a problem, and we almost did have him, but we needed slightly better RNG. I both thought and it felt like we were overleveled, but apparently definitely not overleveled for the final boss in relation to not having a white mage, at least. Never doubt the power of AoE healing. This will open with Protera, which seems a fine move, at least in this circumstance. Okay, and this is the part where my warrior is relegated to potion duty. That's all they're really good for. Well, now I'm gonna, again, I will try to use Invisra, because that should, in theory, hopefully, be very helpful. Thankfully, that didn't do too much. but that's still more than I would like it to have done. So we will use another high potion on our black mage, and we will try to negate damage. Well, we're not negating that, which, thank the Lord, did not kill anyone. Okay, Invisor does stop that. I'm really confused by... So, was it the ribbon and Invisor? I am not entirely sure. A lot of stuff has been messing with my monk and not letting him receive the benefit of certain spells. But everything seems to be fine right now. He is punching very hard. We are going to try very hard to not let anyone else die. But really, that is not good. Because the last time he hasted himself, all he did was melee for way too much damage. So, almost without question, someone's going to die. I do have Slowra, but there's no telling who's going to go first, so I guess we have to use both people. Use Slowra. I thought he was going to melee. Oh, Slowra does not affect him, so that's even worse. Alright, back to potion duty, you go. That might kill someone. It did not, thankfully. But people are definitely close to dying. Means we need to make sure the black mage lives for as long as possible. He was buffing the shit out of my monk. I mean, so far this attempt is going a lot better than previous attempts have gone. So, there is that. Flare is bad. Very bad. In fact, so bad that I think that we pretty much lose. Yeah, when you cast Flare twice in a row, that is not really anything. Not only that, but when they get to go first doing it both times. That is a definitive problem with this game's turn system, which I think is actually made a lot better by the ATB system in Final Fantasy VI and onward. It might have even come out before Final Fantasy VI, I don't know. But we'll display that when we get to it. But basically, it's still a turn-based combat system in 6 and onwards, but the way it is, the way it's designed, prevents situations like you just saw. Which, suffice to say, is a good thing. So I guess, we are going to try again, hopefully successfully. I wish... There's really not much else I can do. Viscera has done practically nothing. So... the only logical thing would be to cast Protective Magic. But again, hard to say what effect that would have. Honestly, so long as he does things like that, like try to slow my warrior, then nothing bad will generally happen. Again, I don't know why, for some reason, my monk just does not receive the benefits of these spells, which he really should be receiving benefit from. I don't understand. But either way, everyone else is at far greater risk of dying, so long as everyone else gets the benefits, that's... I don't want to necessarily say fine, but it's a hell of a lot better than it could be. I think Null Frost is the last magic defense I can cast that I need, which is nice, except, you know, except for the not hitting my monk part. Then I just need physical protection, which, you know, I'm about to put up. And my red mage is going first this time. Now I do have frost protection, so that should help mitigate that. For most of us it did anyway. Which means, among other things, I can use a high potion on the black mage, and I can use Jiraga on my monk, and to continue to buff. Well, the buffs are not doing as much as I thought they would be doing. You use a high potion on red mage, who will then use Jiraga on you. Cyclone is gonna hit hard, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Definitely harder than I would have liked. So we want to use an X potion. We want to use Jiraga. Well, no more red mage, which is unfortunate and definitely not good for my well-being. I don't care if my warrior takes damage. They're healing, but they're also the least necessary in general. 3,500 that time. He cast haste, which is fine. That's basically a free turn for me. Everyone is at full health, at least. I mean, I could try using a Phoenix Stone. It's not going to be overly helpful. Blizzaga is fine. It'll do minimal damage, relatively speaking. 4,000 damage. So I don't want to waste a potion, so we'll do that. If the red mage goes first, he can heal himself for full. I'm actually gonna use a high potion on Monk. Oh, well, I was afraid something like that would happen, considering the Monk is like my main source of damage. And now all his buffs just got erased, which means these people have to do damage, which is not going to happen. Because there's literally no way I can resurrect and buff him with all that's going on. I mean, resurrect, yes, but not and simultaneously buff. And look at how little damage everything else does. That was so much damage, even with Protect. And then that'll kill everyone, or that'll kill the Monk again. Because why wouldn't it kill the Monk again? Oh yeah, 922 damage. Great. Now it's just using an endless amount of Phoenix Downs. And basically just hoping that he doesn't do that, which he just did. So, yeah, far from my favorite kind of events. There are so many possible things the boss could do. But he chooses to do the things that I can't counter against without grinding more. It is very unfortunate.
Yep, and that is the end of that attempt as well.
Well, that is unfortunate. Like, I don't really want to have to level up more, but I apparently need, like, at least a little bit more of a buffer of experience, which is unfortunate. Definitely very unfortunate. I mean, though, to be fair, 1 or 2 more levels is not going to make the biggest difference in the world. I mean, it'll help, but... You know, I would definitely be interested to watch speedruns of this game, because I'm very curious what, if anything, they do to mitigate the RNG of the this part of the game. I don't know if there's like better magic that I don't have that would be helpful here. You know, give me 1 sec to check that real fast. Um, Not really. I'm pretty sure the only level 8 magic that I'm missing at this point is Full Life, which I'm 99% certain my red mage cannot learn, and Flare, which while my black mage can learn that, Flare is not going to be helpful. The amount of damage it will do relative to just buffing my monk a million times is practically nothing. The monk does so much damage with haste and temper just continuously stacked. And Flare is not going to hit the boss for that much. Not as much as one would hope. I mean, if you want to be technical, it only hits us for a few hundred, and the boss has more than a few hundred HP. Especially when the monk's punching him for several thousand HP. That's, you know, just to put it in perspective. So, a few more levels definitely seems like the appropriate thing, if not the less exciting thing to be doing. So I do apologize, I thought for sure I was ready to sweep this boss like I swept pretty much everything else. Though keep in mind that if you swapped out my red mage with a white mage, that would definitely help things, because then firstly you would have access to all resurrection, or all white magic, which does include resurrection and full life, which is resurrect at full health, which is a lot better than Phoenix Downs, as well as an AoE heal, good AoE healing. Well, suffice to say, this whole ordeal would be a hell of a lot easier. And that could mitigate a lot of the spells he uses, especially when he uses them back to back. But, for now, we're gonna hope that 2 extra levels makes a decent difference for both HP and stats. I mean, 2 levels might not be that much, but I mean, it's not nothing by the same token. What I'm really curious is what level Chaos is actually supposed to be. I want to believe that Invisra, my AoE evasion buff, should be working against him at least once out of every few attacks, but I don't know if we're just significantly underleveled comparatively. I mean, these goblin modes just cast Invisra, and it didn't help them any. So I don't know. Maybe it's just not a great spell. And there it is again. That's an evasion spell, but they are not evading. They are taking damage. They are most certainly taking damage. Okay, one more batch of level ups and then we shall give it another go. May or may not make a huge difference, but it might make enough of a difference. Should be 2 to 3 more fights to get everyone another level, I believe. It might still be 2 to 3 for the red mage if they're a bit behind on their experience. Yeah, now it should just be 2 more at most. Though with these enemies, it might just be this fight. Nope. One more fight. One more fight, and then we shall make our way back to the enemy. Like I said, hopefully these stat differences are sufficient. Are they? No idea. We've got everyone healed and max magicked and all the good stuff. If it's a preemptive strike, I'm gonna preemptively run. I'd prefer not to deal with them. So, the main strategy, based on what I have available to me, obviously, as you've been seeing, is focusing the red mage on defensive spells and the black mage on buffing the monk, who then fights. In theory, it should definitely work. Need to really be hopeful that he doesn't use too many extremely powerful spells right off the bat. I wish No Blaze, which says reduces fire damage by half, worked for Flare, because it definitely does not seem to. Okay, Slowra missed, which I'm pretty sure... Oh, I'd say it's because he has a ribbon, but I mean... He's been slowed before, I've seen it on the trash. The protective spell missed again on him, which is really, really irritating. Cyclone still hits pretty hard. Granted, it hits less hard, or at least my mage is not at half health, which is a huge positive. So now we can do Operation Healing. I still need a null shock, ideally, but... Well, I was gonna say, I hope he doesn't use Ondaga. I wish he didn't. We're gonna use an X potion. And we're gonna use a Curaga. Okay. Earthquake. I think Earthquake's technically a very, very low success rate insta-kill. So, because of how low success rate it is, it almost will never work on us. So I like when he uses it, because it's essentially a very free turn for me to do whatever I want, including Null Shock, which, again, for some reason my monk's gonna not accept it into his body. But that's his prerogative. As long as he gets more powerful and everyone else gets protected, I can work around his built-in anti-magic field. Built-in, but only to certain spells, it would seem. Now, we're gonna do Protera, which will hopefully mitigate the physical damage, assuming it actually works. Now, unfortunately, my red mage took a lot of damage, so I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say, he might live, he might die, depends on who attacks first. And with what. And of course, Chaos attacked first with Cyclone. So, that severely complicates things. On the bright side, my monk is doing a lot of damage, so I'm tempted to just keep at this, buffing the monk and more or less healing them. Because I do have an elixir, which if it goes off, well, it's not going to go off now. I'm definitely not going to go off. And there we have it. Through the power of fists and buff spells, Chaos is defeated. The time loop was severed at last. The endless struggle that raged over 2,000 years had ended, and peace prevailed once more. The light of the four crystals restored the forces of wind, water, earth, and fire. It was a mere trick of fate that had given rise to the chain of Garland's wrath. But, magnified by the four forces meant to guide our world, that trick of fate also gave birth to the fiends. Monsters had run rampant as the world sank into darkness. But all that is now past. With the four forces flowing as they were meant, the warriors prepared to cross time and return to the world they knew, a world where Princess Sarah, Queen Jane, and even Garland himself await. When was this fateful day that sent time spiraling into a loop? None can say. It seemed the cycle into which time had fallen would last forever, but the bravery of four young travelers changed that. They took the forces that filled the world with darkness and used them to bathe the world in light. None will ever recall the struggle of the four endured, for the breaking of the chain means that it never existed. But within the tales of fantasy that people tell, the memory of their deeds lives on. Perhaps the final fantasy that people tell. Tales of dwarves and elves, of dragons and shining civilizations that reached for the heavens even as they fell. And now, their return is upon us. With the memory of their struggle buried deep in their hearts, they will quietly watch over our world. Remember always that the forces of the world must be used as they were intended, but the power of light must never be used for dark, and that the true crystals reside in your heart. For you are the warrior who crossed time. I know that the words are cut off from you on your end, but I have an ultra-wide monitor where most things aren't cut off, but sometimes it is. You are the bringer of light. And that is Final Fantasy 1. Would I say it's worth a playthrough? I mean, it's still fun in its own way, but it's definitely no modern RPG. Now, that said, I want to look something up real fast. Because I believe... Yes, technically... Square is technically making a game. I don't think it's a remix, but it's like a retelling of this game. Which... It's really not out yet. The fans across the globe, both past and present, and to the crew who brought the originals to life, offer our profound and heartfelt thanks. That is nice, though. Like, regardless of the little ye old design choices of this game, it was an amazing pixel remaster. I mean, it looks nice, the music is very modern and sounds wonderful, including the classic Final Fantasy ending theme. In every, I believe, Final Fantasy game. It is the Final Fantasy theme. As synonymous with Final Fantasy as the Prelude is. But, I don't know if it's going to retell the story exactly. In fact, it almost certainly is going to retell the story very differently. It's going to be an entirely different retelling. But there's a game that is coming out... Oh, it did come out. Wow, it must have been so unremarkable that I did not even know it existed. It's called Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, which is more or less some weird retelling of this game, but in an action style. I'm not sure. Just something I thought was worth mentioning, given that we just finished Final Fantasy 1. I can't believe it came out, and that I didn't even know about it. Like, I heard it was announced, but it came out already, and I had never heard anyone say anything about it, which, again, makes me think it was not that great. Oh, well, one of the reasons I didn't know it came out is because it's not on Steam. And that means it's on... It says it's on Windows, and it's not on Steam, so 3 guesses where it is, and it's a place I'm not going to buy it. I tell you that much. So, if I do play that, which I would want to at some point, that won't be until they decide to put it on Steam. But, regardless, it is definitely something I'm interested in, because I'm wondering how the retelling works. Final Fantasy Origin received mixed or average reviews. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't think anyone was asking for an action remake of this game, but also with a relatively different story, but similar enough. And I think that shows that, and also massively limiting your audience by putting it not on the main PC gaming platform for some stupid reason. So yeah, while I am gonna play every Final Fantasy game, that one will definitely have to wait since it's not on Steam. Still, can I skip these credits? That's a better question. Pixelated Monster Art Manager. Imagine having that as a title on your resume. Pixelated Monster Artists. Not just artists, but pixelated monster artists. Well, either way, Final Fantasy 1 is done, which means Castlevania's up next. while we're in the credits, though, there's one thing I want to talk about, since this is a good time while we're waiting for the credits to end. Obviously, tomorrow will be a streaming off day, but potentially good news, I am starting a new job on Monday, which will should allow for more consistent and earlier streaming. Now, it's not going to be my permanent schedule, it's just training. I want to say that I'm not always going to be working mornings once I'm out training, and that's assuming this job works out, but it's A, more than triple the amount of money I'm making now, and B, consistent, because right now I just delivery drive with pizza, and tips are nice, and free pizza's nice, but that's if I get both. So that's just something to be aware of. I think the estimated hours I'd be working Monday through Friday, at least for training, are 8 to 5, obviously AM to PM, which means I could stream evening times. And thank you very much. I really hope it works out. It depends on if I can tolerate it, but we shall see. There is a chance, assuming it works out, that I don't know when, but I might need to go to Ohio to do further training. It's like a real career job, which is fine. But if I do that, I might have to do a month of streaming on my laptop, which means we'll probably be streaming some old games, because that's probably the only thing that will stream appropriately on the hotel internet. But that's like future problem. Right now, the point is next month, or the following week or two, I'm still training here, which means earlier streams. Which I'm sure is good for a lot of people who aren't me and don't go to bed at like 9 a.m. Yeah, I definitely like the idea of having more money and more consistent money. It's, it'll be the first job I'm actually working 40 hours a week, because I have fought tooth and nail to not be an adult for as long as I can. But unfortunately, I must be an adult, for I need money. At least I will pretend to be an adult. I'm not going to be an adult still. Mentally, emotionally. But for the purpose of money, I will pretend to be an adult for as much as I can. So that's also the reason I'm taking tomorrow off, is because I have to wake up before 8 a.m. I worked the last-ish day at this other job and get off at 10 p.m. That doesn't leave a big window for getting home and eating and sleeping. Unfortunately. But, it is what it is. But I should, assuming this job doesn't take up too many hours or have too much overtime, be able to maintain a relatively good streaming schedule earlier in the day for people, which would be very nice, like I said. And there's lots of things that will be improvements, some of which will go back into my computer and streaming, like less jury-rigged lighting. Oh man, these credits are longer than I thought for a pixelated remaster of a old NES game. Good thing we're learning about who the European Support Center Assistant Manager is. I don't know how I'd be able to sleep at night unless I knew. Yeah, I adjusted that slightly, plus I got another light on me, which hopefully helps. I feel the problem was I wasn't lit up enough, but my monitor is bright as the sun, so when there's a lot of green on my monitor, it reflected green onto me, which obviously the green filter kinda, treated that as green screen. Which, I don't think it did it at all today, which hopefully both both the settings and the light that I got fixed that a little. My monitor is very, very bright because it's, apart from being ultra wide and 144 FPS, it's also an HDR monitor, and like real HDR. So anytime my screen is entirely white, it sears into my brain from how bright it is. But I appreciate it. I don't spend money on many things in life, but technology is one of them. At the time that I got it, this monitor is technically more expensive than my computer, to be fair. But definitely worth it. And the credits are finally ending, which means we can hopefully also finish Castlevania. A lot harder than I thought. Apparently there's also 6 levels, not 5, like I initially kept thinking. I don't know where I read or was told there were 5. But we've gotten level 5. Oh, there goes the blinding light that just destroys all of my brain cells. Okay, anyway, that's done with. So let me update the streaming info. To Castlevania.